Good morning, everyone. It's Robert from On My Turntable. Hope you're having a great morning this morning. It is Wednesday morning, as always, a coffee kind of morning, which I need more, and I need to heat it up. It's kind of cool. Wanted to enter a contest for my wonderful friend, Mr. Larry Graves, aka the Canadian Studmuffin, who just lives about 15 minutes west of here in Trenton, Ontario. I'm in Belleville. And he's got a great contest going on. Please, everyone, go to his channel, like, subscribe. He's got amazing content. He's funny as hell. Wonderful guy. I've done a bunch of live shows with him, and a lot of fun. And he's created a great idea for a contest. Basically, take 5 bands and take 10 of their albums and make them double albums. So it's called Create 5 Double Album Contest. The draw is going to be December 1st. It's for a $50 Amazon gift card, which is very, very generous. Thank you, Larry. So again, create 5 double albums from bands or artists that would make great double albums. They kind of have to be similar in style, released around the same time, if possible, and name what side you would make, say side 1, side 2, side 3, side 4, and what would you call the album. Be creative. It's a lot of fun. I've chosen 5 great bands and of course 10 great albums that I think would make double albums, and let's get started. It's a great contest. I'm going to put the link below to Larry's channel, and also going to let him know that I've made this video. That's another thing you have to do is let him know that you've made that video, so he can obviously find it and put you in the entry. Also, hit his like button, hit his subscribe button. Let him know how wonderful he is, because he likes to hear that stuff. So here we go, from an amazing band called Marillion. I've chosen Misplaced Childhood and Clutching at Straws, both from the Fish era, as cat hair flies all over the place. Thank you, Sally, wherever you are. Both from the Fish era, which is, I don't know, it's 2 separate Marillion bands, really, from Steve Hogarth to Fish. But the Fish era is definitely some of their best. Again, Marillion, amazing progressive rock band from England. Fish, his real name is Derek William Dick, aka Fish. So 1985's Misplaced Childhood, 3rd album by the band, a concept album, loosely based on Fish's childhood, basically. And he came up with the idea while he was on LSD to write this concept. Awesome stuff. There's the... I've got to get another case because this Amazon, I love Amazon. And 1987's Clutching at Straws, another concept album from the band, about a character called Torch, and who was the descendant of the Jester in a lot of, if you look at a lot of earlier Marillion albums, there's clown themes, Jester themes, and his life is in ruins. So I would call the album Torch, and I would choose Misplaced Childhood as the first 1 and 2, obviously as a child, and then make Clutching at Straws 3 and 4 as the child grew up into an adult, and his life didn't turn out the way it planned. Yeah, he's just a running out. Everything's going wrong, and it would start off with Pseudo Silk Kimona, Kayla, which is a big hit for the band. Lavender, Bittersweet, Heart of Lothian, Waterhole, Expressive Bongo, Lords of the Backstage, Blind Curve, Childhood, and White Feather. And then side 3 and 4 would be Hotel Hobbies, Warm Wet Circles, That Time of the Night, The Short Straw, Going Under, including a guitar solo, Just for the Record, White Russian, Incommunicado, Torch Song, Slaint Math or Hath, Sugar Mice, and it would end, the album would end with The Last Straw and Happy Ending. And again, I would call it Torch because it would be Torch's childhood and then into his despair as an adult. So two fantastic albums. Secondly, I chose The Cars from this great box set. And I chose, of course they're not in order when you open up the box set. Here we go. I chose their debut and Candy-O as my double album. Of course, great band from Boston, including Rick Ocasek, Benjamin Orr, Elliot Easton, an amazing underrated guitarist, Greg Hawkes, and David Robinson. Again, 1978 debut. The Cars, and a 1979's Candy-O. But I would reverse the order in this case. I'd start with Candy-O first. Okay. And it would start off with Let's Go, which is a great start to an album. Since I Held You, It's All I Can Do, Double Life, Shooby-Doo, Candy-O, Night Spots, You Can't Hold On Too Long, Lust for Kicks, Got a Lot on My Head, and Dangerous Type. And then side 3 and 4 would be the debut, Good Times Roll, My Best Friend's Girl, Just What I Needed, I'm in Touch with Your World, Don't Just Stop, You're All I've Got Tonight, Bye Bye Love, Moving in Stereo, and it ends with All Mixed Up. So that would be my double album from The Cars in this order here. Candy-O, and then the debut. And again, I would call it Just What I Needed. I would call it Just What I Needed, which is, I think, a fitting title for the Cars, because sometimes they're just what you need, for sure. One of my favorite bands is Chicago, and their first 4 albums actually are double albums. Not too many bands start off with a debut album that's a double album. Their second was a double. Their third, which is probably their first 1 and 2 are their best albums ever. Their third was quite a bit different than their first 2. More, I don't know, loosely based jams. Their fourth was a double live album. And then you come up with their 5th and 6th, Chicago 5 and Chicago 6. Chicago 5 is the 4th studio album, the 5th album in total, obviously, Chicago 5, but you have to include that live album in there. Chicago 5 is the 4th album, and the album was released in 1972. Chicago 6, the 5th studio album, 1973 release, both great on their own. But I would make it this one here, number 6 first. Okay. It would start off with Critics' Choice, Just You and Me, Darlin' Dear, which I love that song, Jenny, great ballad, What's This World Coming To, really rockin' tune, and then you've got Something in the City Changes People, Hollywood, In Terms of Two, great track, I love that track, Rediscovery, and Feeling Stronger Every Day, great way to end the first part of the double album. And then I would end it with their Chicago 5, okay, which is a hit by Varese, All Is Well. Now that you've gone, Dialogue Part 1 and Part 2, probably one of their best tracks they've ever done. While the City Sleeps, Saturday in the Park, the big hit, State of the Union, Goodbye, and then I went in with Alma Mater. And I would call it Critics' Choice. I would call it Critics' Choice. But I think it would make, these two would make a fine double album. Chicago 5 and Chicago 6. After 10, I stopped listening to Chicago. Unfortunately, Terry Kath had passed away accidentally. And yeah, the rest is history, so to speak. David Foster got involved. It's a whole mess. I really only have 2 albums from this band, but I would make them double album. I would make it a double album. This is from Aerosmith. I've got Rocks and Toys in the Attic. And I would make these a double album. 1975's Toys, 1976 Rocks. I would make Rocks side 1 and 2. And because it starts off with Back in the Saddle. Great opening track. You've got, sorry for the noise. You've got Back in the Saddle, Last Child, Rats in the Cellar, Combination, Sick as a Dog, Nobody's Fault, Get the Lead Out, Lickin' a Promise, and Home Tonight. So that would be side 1 and 2. I love these sleeves. I just heard knocking or something. I love these sleeves, but they're noisy as hell. And then it would end with Toys in the Attic. So you got Toys in the Attic, Uncle Salty. Sorry for the glare. Uncle Salty, Adam's Apple, Walk This Way, big 10-inch record. And then side 4 will be Sweet Emotion, No More, No More, Round and Round, and it ends with the ballady song, You See Me Crying. And I would call it, what would I call it? I don't think I put down what I would call. I would probably call, yeah, I didn't call this one anything, which is weird. That's strange. I'd probably call it, we'll go with Walk This Way. We'll go with Walk This Way as their big hit. I thought I'd written down what I would call it. Anyway, we'll call it Walk This Way. But 2 great albums. Really similar in style. Rocks is a little heavier than Toys. But yeah, 2 of my favorites for sure. And then we'll end with one of my favorite bands ever, excluding the Beatles. And from Deep Purple, you've got Deep Purple, Shades of Deep Purple, and the Book of Taliesin. 2 very similar albums. Their 3rd album is more psychedelic, more progressive, completely different than these 2. This one has a lot of covers on it. This one has a lot of covers on it. Both released in the same year, but their first 1 and 2 albums are amazing. 1968, Shades of Deep Purple. Their debut album, 1968, The Book of Taliesin. I would say I would keep it at Shades of Deep Purple because it has to start off with And the Address. It has to start off with that. That's the very first song. It's also the last song on their latest album, Whoosh, their latest studio album, Whoosh. I don't know if that means the end of Deep Purple or not, but so I would make Shades of Deep Purple size 1 and 2. So you've got, and the address, Hush, One More Rainy Day, Prelude, Happiness, I'm So Glad, Mandrake Root, Help, Love Help Me, and Hey Joe. And then sides 3 and 4 would be from the book of Taliesin, or Taliesin. Yeah, as some people say that, tomato, tomato. You've got Listen, Learn, Read On, Hard Road, Kentucky Woman, Exposition, We Can Work It Out, The Shield, Anthem, and then it ends with that big 10-minute great Ike Tina Turner track, River Deep, Mountain High. And I would call it Mandrake Root from both of these fantastic albums. So there you have it, Larry. There's my contest entry for your contest. Great contest going on. Go over to Larry's channel. Pardon me, hit the like, subscribe button. I'll leave the link below to his channel. Please enter his contest. You have until December 1st to enter. It's a great idea. Fun idea, actually. And have yourself a great rest of the day. Take care. We'll love you all. Bye-bye.